It's finally happened. We've gotten 8 to 12 inches of snow here in Indiana, and I've got a video I've always wanted to shoot, and that is an offset smoker that's insulated more efficient than an offset smoker that isn't insulated? Right behind me, I have an Old Country Brazos DLX, and I have an Old Country G2 insulated. We're going to put them through the test today and see how they work in this blizzard-like condition. So let's get to it. I'm David Gafford with the Barbecue Lab, and we put your favorite outdoor cooking and outdoor living gear to the test so you can make educated buying decisions and get the gear that fits how you spend time outside. In today's video, we're going to venture out into the cold where the Old Country G2 has an insulated firebox. The whole smoker isn't insulated, just the firebox. The Old Country Brazos DLX has zero insulation, so we'll put the same amount of fuel into each grill and measure the effect of insulation on the internal temperature and fuel requirements of these two offset smokers. Is the G2 or the Brazos the better smoker for you? Let's put them to the test. Everything starts by placing the temperature probes that we're using to monitor this test across the grate. I'm using the ThermalWorks Signals thermometer and 3 air temperature probes on each grill. One probe is going on the left, center, and right side of the main grate, just far enough back that I can put a rack of ribs in front of the probes, but still as close to the center as possible. As always, we'll put links in the description for all of the products you'll see me use in this video, along with any discount codes we're aware of to help you save some money on your purchase. To control as many variables as possible, we're measuring the fuel that we're going to use. I like to start my offset smokers with a combination of lump charcoal and wood to get a good coal bed. I measured out a chimney of Fogo Gold Bag lump charcoal for each grill, hit the charcoal for 60 seconds with the grill gun to get it started, and placed a small split of cherry wood on top to get the grills up to temperature. We are starting with the same amount of charcoal, the same size wood split, both the intake and exhaust set wide open, and the same 60 seconds of the grill gun. So let's see how the grills came up to temperature when leaving them alone for an hour without opening the lid. Here are the graphs from an hour of warm-up on both grills. The Brazos had a much more even startup across the grate, while the G2 saw much warmer temperatures on the right-hand side of the grate. The G2 got up to the 145 degree mark, and the Brazos up to the 170 degree mark in the center of the grate, so in both cases, I didn't add enough fuel to hit the 200 to 225 mark that I was aiming for. One interesting visual cue was how much steam was coming off the firebox of the Brazos compared to the G2. The G2 still had ice on the firebox, while the non-insulated Brazos was steaming everything off. By the way, if you're getting value out of this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more videos just like this. I added more wood splits to each grill to get them to 200 degrees and headed inside to prep the ribs. We're taking the membrane off the ribs and applying a healthy amount of our own Pork Protocol barbecue rub. It's sweet with a little touch of heat on the back end, and it's available in our online store if you want to try it in your backyard. We have the smokers running between 200 and 225 according to the gauges on the lids, so it's time to put the ribs on the grate for a low and slow smoke bath. In just a minute, we're going to look at any differences I observed in these two smokers over the course of this rib cook, but first I want to take a minute to give a shout out to my friend Stephen Anthony, who supported our Kickstarter campaign last month. Thanks to our backers like Stephen, we now have our online storefront live where you can purchase your own bottles of rub at shop.thebarbecuelab.com. Stephen, it means so much to us to have your family's support with this launch, and we hope you love your new seasonings. To keep the fire going, I used the kindling cracker to split some hardwood to keep pieces of the same size going into each smoker. Here's the ThermalWorks graph of the cook over the 5-hour period that the ribs were on the grills. You can see that I added wood about every 45 minutes to both smokers to get a relatively even cooking temperature of about 250 degrees across the grates. Using the same size wood splits in both smokers, there was very little difference during this cook for how much heat was obtained from the same amount of fuel in each cooker. This surprised me, as I thought the insulated firebox would overshoot the target temperature and I'd need to choke down the air intake. Turns out I didn't need to do anything, and they ran very similarly over a 5-hour period. Here's what the ribs look like on the Brazos right before we wrap them in aluminum foil. On the back side, you can tell that we're getting a little more heat on the ribs from the left side of the pit towards the smokestack. Now here's a look at the G2 ribs. They're a lighter color overall when compared to the ribs from the Brazos, and you can really tell that difference on the back side. After another hour of the ribs wrapped in foil to steam for a bit, here's what a cross-section of the ribs looked like on the G2, and here's a cross-section on the Brazos. We got a clean bite through on the G2 ribs, and also the same from the Brazos rack without pulling the meat off the bone. Both ribs were excellent, but the G2 ribs had more moisture in the bite for me, while the Brazos ribs had a better bark and crispier exterior. Now, if it's not the insulated firebox that's a major difference maker here, then how do you make a decision between these two pits? Let's lay out a few of the differences. First, the exhaust pipe on the Brazos is wide and short, and it's really tall and skinny on the G2. This, for me, was interesting. When it came to viewing the smoke coming out of the stack, it really billowed out of the G2, but kind of lazily fell out of the Brazos. That tells me there's a stronger draw on the G2 pit design. Secondly, the open top firebox on the Brazos makes it easier to add wood and do direct grilling. The G2 is insulated around the firebox, meaning that there's no way to open it from the top like you can on the Brazos. If you wanted to grill a steak directly over the fire, you can do that with the Brazos, but not so much on the G2. Number 3, the air intake on the Brazos lets more air in than the G2 does. If you look at the different air intake designs on these two pits, the Brazos has a triangular design, while the G2 has more of a vertical grill grate style intake. I found that the Brazos let more air in when set to wide open than the G2, and that I wanted to prop the door open on the G2 when I was running it to give it more air. For a fourth difference, if we really take a look at the air temperature graphs from grate level, even though I was running both pits with the diverter and deflector installed, I still had a pretty decent hot spot on the G2 over on the right-hand side of the grate. If you follow the probe graph, you can see that it was consistently higher on the right-hand side. The Brazos ran very evenly for me, and if we take a look at that graph, you can see that it was very close across the grate the entire cook. So which do I prefer between these two cookers? Most of the time, I choose to cook on the Brazos over the G2. I love how easy the lid is to open with the counterweight. I like how I can open the firebox as well to work with the coals and wood splits. It's just easier having a flip-top lid than hunching down and working through the small end door. Now, I also like the air intake size on the Brazos, where I can get more air without needing to crack the door open. Really, this isn't what I expected. I thought that I would be Team G2 all the way, with insulation on that firebox living here in the Midwest, but it didn't make that big of a difference for me in actual cooking scenarios. Maybe if the entire smoker was insulated, I'd notice a difference. I guess that remains to be seen. Overall, can you go wrong with a 1/4 inch thick offset smoker for under $2,000 for your backyard? I don't think so. If you buy one of these, they're going to be something you can pass down to your kids. They're very heavy, super thick compared to the sheet metal smokers you find in big box stores, and once you get to know how they work, you can make great barbecue on both. Are they easier than a pellet grill? No, but that's not why you buy an offset smoker. You want more flavor, the challenge of working with live fire, and the flex of showing your friends you didn't need a pellet grill to make great barbecue. If that's what you're after, Old Country has a couple of great solutions for you. My pick of the two is still the Brazos, but what do you think? Which one is right for you? Let us know down in the comments. Be sure to hit like if you got value, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.